Now at 9, the midterm elections are here. We'll have a preview of what you can expect and more from a candidate here in Delaware County.
And a dry season right here in Muncie, how the White River is being affected.
Plus, listen up, a recall for desserts, what cookie dough you'll want to get off your shelves.
And a large-scale layoff announced. What major tech company could be cutting half of their employment?
And I have a major cool down expected for the weekend. I'll have all that and more in my full forecast.
Delaware County's only live television newscast from Ball State University's Unified Media Newsroom. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening and thanks for being with us. I'm Alex Almanza.
And I'm Lindley Steele.
Now, Election Day is tomorrow and control of both chambers of Congress is at stake. Now that's in addition to dozens of governor's races and other state level contests that will set the table for the 2024 presidential campaigns.
Karen Kafa is live on Capitol Hill this morning with a look at the top issues for voters and the candidates' closing arguments.
President Joe Biden isn't on the ballot, but for most Americans, it's their first chance to weigh in on his party and policies.
This election isn't a referendum, it's a choice. It's a choice between two fundamentally different visions of America.
Among states taking center stage in the battle for the U.S. Senate, tight races in 4 that President Biden flipped in the 2020 presidential election. Arizona, Wisconsin, Georgia, and Pennsylvania, where Biden and former President Barack Obama stumped Saturday.
Democracy itself is on the ballot. The stakes are high.
And former President Donald Trump also rallied.
This election is your chance to make your voice heard,
underscoring how 2022 may foreshadow the 2024 presidential contest. Polls indicate most voters are looking at the economy right now as they cast ballots. Democrats touted Friday's October jobs report and unemployment still near a half-century low as a sign their economic policies are working, while Republicans point to the highest inflation in 40 years.
The inflation crushing our pocketbooks, can't fill up our tank, can't fill our grocery cart.
Abortion is a human right.
Democrats hope the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade in June will motivate voters, especially women, while Republicans have accused Democrats of being weak on crime, especially in major cities. Both parties eager to drive turnout in their favor. And you will continue to see the party's political heavyweights out on the trail today. President Biden, he's not going to go far. He's going to be in Maryland campaigning at a rally for Maryland Democrats, including the gubernatorial candidate Wes Moore. Former President Donald Trump will be in Ohio, where he will campaign at a rally on behalf of the Republican U.S. Senate candidate J.D. Vance. On Capitol Hill, I'm Karen Kafa.
The Department of Justice is being proactive when it comes to protecting voters' rights. The DOJ announced it's sending election monitors to almost half the states for tomorrow's midterm elections. The department said it will have people at 64 election sites in 24 states on Tuesday, monitoring compliance with federal voting rights laws. The monitors will include personnel from the DOJ's Civil Rights Division and from its U.S. Attorney's offices. It's a practice to protect voters that traces back to the 1965 Voting Rights Act.
And with Election Day just around the corner, NewsLink Indiana's Tegan O'Mara spoke to a Delaware County candidate today.
Yeah, Tegan, what can you tell us about Janine Lee Lake?
Ball State University alumnus Janine Lee Lake was a journalist for 30 years before she entered the political field at age 50. Lake said she was seeing political division and she knew she had something to offer. Today, I spoke with the Democratic candidate for U.S. Congress Indiana District 5 on her opinion regarding Senate Bill 1.
For any reason, it's just not something that I don't think that government should be a part of at all. And so while I respect women that are what they call pro-life, but I just think that that takes the choice out for everybody, and I don't think that's right.
Being a moderate, Lake says her opinions can vary politically, but there is a reason behind her strong opinion on Senate Bill 1.
I found myself in a situation where I was the victim of a date rape. And in the ensuing months, I found out I was pregnant, and I didn't know at the time whether or not that was, the rapist's child. And so I did have an abortion, and I am glad that I was able to have that choice.
Lake says every woman deserves the right to choose abortion, and in order for that to happen, Roe v. Wade must be codified. She says the first step is everyone going to the polls.
And I would implore every man out there, it takes two to make a baby. And so, and it takes two to have to deal with some of these issues. And I would say for you all, come out and support women, because really this is a woman, at the end of the day, it is a woman's issue, and it's time for us to get our reproductive rights back.
So reached out to candidate Victoria Spartz for comment, but have not received a response.
Thanks, Tegan. The youngest voters are all around us, but they may be losing faith in the election process. Some say controversial mail-in ballots from the 2020 election will impact this midterm election more than ever. Campus groups and local committees are all trying to rally voters for one cause or another. Ball State Democrats encourage voting and share their thoughts on absentee ballots.
I feel that since the 2020 election, trust in absentee and mail-in voting has only increased.
On the other side of the aisle, Ball State's Republicans provide a different view on the mail-in ballots, saying they slow the process.
I would say our trust hasn't really improved for mail-in ballots, just because we believe that led to a lot of ambiguity in the slow process of voting.
For more information on absentee voting, visit usa.gov. Now here's a message from NewsLink Indiana.
Tomorrow is election night, and NewsLink Indiana wants to bring you the latest. I'm Anna Chalker.
And I'm Mitch Martirano. We'll bring you special team coverage on November 8th, live from the newsroom and across Delaware County.
Don't miss any of the results. Join us at 9 p.m. right here on our Facebook page.
Or you can tune into Cardinal Vision.
If you thought Indiana hasn't been getting much rain, you're not the only one. Indiana has been particularly dry this year, with multiple red flag warnings this fall to prevent fires. NewsLink Indiana's Adele Reich reports this dry season has had effects across Muncie, including at the White River.
The White River is the most well-known body of water in Muncie.
All right.
Every day, Shelby Browning and Brandon Holsinger from the Muncie Bureau of Water Quality go out to different sections of the river to check the levels and quality of the water. But something is different about the river this year that Director Rick Conrad is well aware of.
Right now, we are seeing a discharge of about 3.5 million gallons per day, which is incredibly low.
In fact, it hasn't been this low since 1991. The United States Geological Survey, or USGS, report that the average stream flow for the river is 25 to 50 gallons, not nearly where the White River was in October. USGS hydrologist Jeff Woods says one thing is to blame.
Extended period of low rainfall, really.
USGS data shows that for October, the river's gauge height has never come high above 4 feet. Compare this to last year's data. The lowest day was at 4.24 feet, and the highest was 9.49 feet. Woods says this is part of a bigger issue.
Certainly, we're in kind of a minor to moderate drought situation in general in this part of Indiana.
But what happens to the river when it gets this low?
One of our biggest concerns when the river gets low is what would happen if we have a combined sewer overflow. During a rain event, will allow untreated sewage and a mix of rainwater to be discharged to the river. Even a small discharge could be a pretty significant volume in comparison to what's in the river.
For now, Conrad and Woods agree that the river is fine, but one thing will help it recover.
Hopefully the weather starts to cooperate a little bit and gives us a little bit more flow.
Yeah, any type of precipitation. Rivers typically take a little bit longer to respond when there's drier conditions like this. Typically, once we start rolling into the winter, it's a period of much higher precipitation and these kind of conditions go away.
If winter brings higher precipitation, the first ones to know about it will be Shelby Browning and Brandon Holsinger, stopping traffic and watching over the White River. In Muncie, Del Reich, NewsLink, Indiana.
Now, speaking of rain, let's move on to weather, because I'm wondering what the weather's going to look like for the rest of the week.
Yeah, and I know today was pretty decent. I hear we're going to get a little bit of a break, and unfortunately, Oliver, we're going to see a little bit of cold weather. A little bit, I'm not sure.
We are definitely going to be seeing some cooler temperatures return to like their normal time for this year or in the weekend. But right now, looking at the current temperatures, 45 degrees in Muncie, 49 in Indianapolis, 58 down there in Evansville, and 40 degrees up there in South Bend. So definitely seeing a gradient throughout the state of Indiana. But overall, this past weekend and this next weekend are going to be wild weather-wise. This past weekend, we were seeing gusts of up to 54 miles per hour on Saturday in Muncie. The highest we saw in the state of Indiana was West Lafayette at 64 miles per hour. So definitely going to be seeing those windy conditions continue as we make our way into Election Day tomorrow. And then we're going to get into a little bit of a mild week, highs in the 70s. And then again, that cool down, highs in the 30s for your weekend. I'll have all that and more in my full forecast.
All right, thanks, Oliver. Just ahead, a recall for desserts. What company is recalling 3 of their popular cookie dough products?
Plus, large-scale layoffs announced. Which major tech company is cutting their employment?
Riding the bus is an easy thing to do. Last year, we carried 60,000 riders from the Ball State area. 50,000 of those were students. Anywhere you want to go, MITS will take you there.
So, I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
That children worldwide have been using electronic devices a lot more since the COVID-19 pandemic began. Researchers found between January 2020 to March of this year, kids' average daily screen use increased more than an hour and 20 minutes, from about 160 minutes a day to 245. Ultimately, researchers believe problematic screen use habits have been formed because of COVID. Now, they say it's important to discuss with kids how to balance screen use with other important daily functions.
And in another recent study, more young e-cigarette users say they vape within 5 minutes of waking up. The study shows e-cig usage has declined in recent years, but those who do vape are starting younger than ever before. Between 2014 and 2017, those who used e-cigs within 5 minutes of when they woke up was less than 1%. That number jumped a little over 10% from 2017 to 2021. Researchers say the data shows an increased use of nicotine for self-medication in response to depression and anxiety that occurred during the pandemic.
Well, Nestle is recalling 3 batches of edible chocolate chip cookie dough tubs because they may contain soft plastic film. Now, the batches were produced from August 1st to August 3rd and distributed to retailers across the U.S. The company says there are no reports of illness or injuries, but people who bought the products should return them for a replacement or a refund. You can find more information on the FDA's website.
And now in your social media headlines, a slight sigh of relief for all verified Twitter users. Elon Musk is delaying the rollout of the paid Blue subscription plan until after midterm elections. The plan allows anyone to get that blue check mark for $79.99 a month, just like celebrities. Critics say the new verification feature could have some unintended consequences. To protest the new plan, some celebrities posed as Musk over the weekend. Some, including comedian Kathy Griffin's account, were suspended.
And another social media platform is announcing layoffs, according to the Wall Street Journal. Facebook parent company Meta is preparing to notify employees of large-scale staff reductions. Now, the job cuts are expected to affect thousands of employees, and the announcement could come as soon as Wednesday. Now, we're going to send it over to weather with a quick look.
Well, again, we are going to be seeing those cooler temperatures move into our area, but we are going to be seeing a little bit of a mild week. I'll have all that and more in my full forecast after the break.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Emotes say a lot, but they can't say it all. Think your guildmate is struggling? Try these dialogue options. Go beyond emotes. Check in with your guildmates at seizetheawkward.org.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together,
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other
on a deeper level. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Welcome back. It's 9:17 on your Monday evening. You're taking a live look over the Foundational Science Building, where we've had a bit of a mild day today.
For sure. Let's pass it over to Oliver for weather.
Again, we have seen a little bit of a mild day today, and those warmer temperatures are definitely going to continue as we go throughout this week. But looking at these current temperatures, we're sitting at 45 degrees here in Muncie, 49 degrees in Indianapolis, 50 degrees, and in the lower 50s in the southern parts of the state. Looking at this current radar, we aren't seeing too much precipitation, maybe a little bit of passing cloud coverage. And that cloud coverage is going to continue as we move into tonight. Partly cloudy conditions, winds coming from the north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour, and lows looking to be in the mid-30s. Now looking at your election day forecast, the polls are open from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So earlier in the morning, we are going to be seeing temperatures around the 40s, but that easterly wind is definitely going to be bringing some cooler air throughout the day. The high of 60 degrees should be reached around 3 p.m. and then we're just going to be cooling right down until we get into tomorrow night. Lows in the upper 30s, winds coming from the southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And again, those partly cloudy skies do continue. As we move into the rest of this week, though, we aren't seeing too much on the precision cast. Again, a couple of those partly cloudy days, maybe some sunny days as well. But we are definitely going to be seeing some more cloud coverage as well as precipitation chances increase as we move into the weekend. But that's not the only thing that's moving around as we go into this weekend. As we can see here, with this 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, we are going to be seeing below average temperatures as well as most of the Midwest here throughout the central upper Midwest and moving into the Ohio Valley as well. We see this large dark blue area extending across the country, and most of the country is going to be seeing below average temperatures for this time of year throughout the next week. Here in Muncie, we are going to definitely be seeing a rise here. Tuesday's again high is going to be 60 degrees, moving all the way up to 72 degrees here on Thursday. And then we are going to be cooling way down, as we can see here. On Saturday, we are going to be seeing a high of just below 40 degrees, and those temperatures are most likely going to keep going on continue as we go into next week as well. Again, 60 degrees for your high here on Tuesday, and then again increasing until we get to Thursday, 72 degrees for your high. Friday, again, those chances of precipitation do loom about, as well as some more intense cloud coverage going into your weekends. And then we dip way down here on Saturday, and we can see that dip down here with those lows as well. 20-degree difference from your lows on Thursday into Friday, and almost a 20-degree difference here from your differences for Friday and Saturday. Again, definitely cooling down as we go into next week. And we have been seeing unseasonal temperatures this entire late October, early November time of the year. But I am, for one, very excited for these cooler temperatures. I'm a big fan of winter, and I really can't wait for that to happen.
Yeah, and oh my goodness, those temperatures this weekend, it's getting almost like freezing. So
yeah, no, the thing that I'm least excited about is paying the heating bill.
Thank you very much. Well, there's plenty more to get to on NewsLink Indiana. Now a look at sports. Here's a preview.
Yeah, thanks, guys. The Indianapolis Colts look to make big moves in their coaching staff. Plus, we dive into the first official game for Ball State basketball head coach Michael Lewis. All that and more when we return.
Here's your sandwich, miss.
Oh, thank you.
And your burger.
Awesome, thank you.
And your bowl of boiling water, sir.
After retiring from the NFL, I've been able to spend a lot more time coaching my daughter's basketball teams. It's something I love to do. Through our games and our tournaments, we see all types of coaching, good and bad. And it begs the question, do we really know who's coaching our kids? Do they have the proper training and screening it would take for me to be comfortable with my daughters playing for that coach? Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to screen and train all of our coaches. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
So if one cat has 4 kittens who reproduce every 6 months, how many cats will there be in 5 years? Who's got it? Is this... What is that? Seriously? Who threw that?
Cats are terrible at math, but they sure do multiply. Please spay, neuter, and adopt.
The solution is 10.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Vincent Mortorano with sports. The Indianapolis Colts have made a change at head coach. Colts owner Jim Irsay and the team announced that 5-year head coach Frank Wright is relieved of his duties with the team. The change comes after a brutal 26-3 loss to the New England Patriots. The move is another link in a chain of drastic decisions from Irsay in previous weeks, benching quarterback Matt Ryan and firing offensive coordinator Marcus Brady. The Colts also announced that they've hired former center Jeff Saturday as interim head coach. Saturday has no NFL coaching experience, but feels more than up to the task. The Colts will look to flip this script this Sunday against the Raiders. And passing things over to the courts, men's volleyball finishing their game up at Worthen Arena tonight. NewsLink Indiana's Max Robson has the scoop. Max, what do you got for us? Ball State winning 109-39 today, winning by a big 70 points. Definitely an exciting one for fans in attendance at Worthen Arena. A really good way to start out the season. And finally, Yorktown women's volleyball playing in their state finals matchup. NewsLink Indiana's Dylan Selke took to the court to capture the moment.
The number 2 ranked Yorktown Tigers face off against the top team in the state, Hamilton Southeastern. Led by senior Emily Hill, the Tigers come in looking for revenge in the state finals matchup.
I think coming in, though, that we had a really big edge. We had a chip on our shoulder of, they beat us earlier in the season. And we came in number 2. We had really nothing to lose, underdogs. A lot of people in here didn't think that we could pull it off, so I guess we just kind of emphasize that just keep the chip on your shoulder.
With both teams tied at 1, the third set came down to the wire, with the Royals narrowly escaping a 25-23 set win. The Royals carried the momentum over to the fourth set, finishing off the Tigers 3-1 in a brawling matchup to the very end.
Yeah, I mean, you never come to the state championship hoping to get runner-up. You know, I think we had them where we wanted them in the third and weren't able to finish, and I think that affected us then into the fourth. We lost a lot of momentum. So, of course, it's a huge letdown, but also really proud that we were here.
Honestly, I think if we won that third set, we would have gone out here with a dub. But, you know, things happen. I think we played really good. I'm proud of my team.
After finishing 34-3 on the season, emotions are hitting in waves, thinking back on the incredible season.
I know that I'm going on and I'm playing again, and some of my teammates aren't. So it kind of just pains me to know that it's their last game ever, and this is how it had to end.
Looking ahead to next year, the Yorktown Tigers hope to get over the hump in search of their first state title in 3 years. In Muncie, Dylan Selke, NewsLink, Indiana.
And what a game. I mean, 100, what, you said 109?
109-39, winning our first game in Worthen Arena by 70 points. I also know that 10 of our Cardinals scoring in double digits tonight. What a confidence booster for the start of the season.
Yeah, what a start. I mean, absolutely explosive.
Absolutely, and the fans as well getting I guess you'd call it a great show, sitting in their seats, watching the Cardinals kind of do their thing. It's got to be awesome to see for our first-year head coach, putting up 109 points as well for him. It's a great thing all around.
Right. What are you thinking for the rest of the season?
Rest of the season, hopefully we could carry that momentum through each game. I know the MAC's going to be a more tougher competition, bigger schools, more guys to pull from. So should be interesting to see what we see down the road. But if there's any way to start the season, like any team could want to start a season, this is the way to do it. It's an exclamation mark, and it gives something for the fans to want to come out to as well. You know, coming out, having a good time.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. We'll have a final look at weather after the break. Good.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Never gonna let you go. Never gonna let
Thank you.
No problem. Just like the rules to surviving Zombieland, there are steps you can take to be prepared for an emergency.
It's the right thing to do.
Talk with your family to make a plan. Look for safe areas to meet up if separated. And stock up on supplies. It's never too early to get prepared, so start now. Right now? Right now. You can't predict emergencies, but you can be ready.
You're welcome, America.
Visit ready.gov today to learn more.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
So, let's talk about those cold temps.
For sure. Not too excited about
No.
that, but it's
gonna-
coming whether or not we're
It's
ready or
getting
not.
a little close to freezing. is what I'm hearing.
Exactly.
Oliver, what do we have for the rest of the week?
Well, again, we are going to be seeing highs in the 70s as we go into the later parts of this week, but this weekend, oh baby, that is going to be cold. 38 degrees for your high on Saturday, 24 degrees for your low there on Saturday, definitely dipping below freezing as we move into the beginning of next week.
All right, Oliver, thank you so much. Be sure to join us again tomorrow night at 9 for your exclusive election coverage. That'll be streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page.
And for news anytime, anywhere, go to ballstatedaily.com.